Okay, I'm going to call this caucus meeting to order. Before we get in our regular agenda here, number one, we'll look for a motion to excuse Lori. Second of all, I'm going to ask for a moment of silence for 911, and also a moment of silence for Mary Cutlisa, who started our Struthers Historical Society, who had passed away recently. So before we get into our regular agenda, I'll be asking for that stuff. As always, motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the second regular meeting dated Wednesday, June 26, 2024, and accept and prepared by the clerk. Communications, there's 6 pieces. Is there any questions or comments on our communications? If none, mayor's report. Bob, are you going to read it here or on the floor?
I will read it right now. Mayor's report for September 11, 2024. Struthers resurfacing. The resurfacing of clean roads has been completed. The city has applied for a Ohio Public Works Commission for next year's resurfacing program. The Rotary Cornhole at Monty Park. Monty Park in Struthers is now equipped with a permanent cornhole boards. Thanks to the dedicated community members and the support of the Struthers Rotary Club and local businesses, Ryan Goyes had the idea last year, and he met with the Rotary Board with a proposal to install permanent cornhole boards near the Rotary Pavilion. Several local businesses stepped up to help bring the project to life. Packner Excavating and Concrete LLC, TC Ready Mix, the Struthers Street and Park Department all played key roles in making the installation a reality. Please bring your bags and check out the new cornhole board at Monty Park. Struthers FOP fundraiser. The Struthers FOP Lodge 41 is hosting their first Nightmare on 5th Street fundraiser on October 19th from 6 to 10. Adults only, 21 plus. Event will be at St. Nick's Great Hall. Costumes are encouraged. The date is rapidly approaching and there will be only a set amount of pre-sale tickets available. No tickets will be sold at the door. The tentative end date for purchase of tickets will be October 9th. Tickets can be purchased by contacting the mayor's office or any FOP Lodge 41 member. Struthers Build-A-Bed. The annual Sleep in Heavenly Peace Build-A-Bed event will be held at the Struthers Street Garage on October 12th beginning at 8 a.m. Sleep in Heavenly Peace is a non-profit organization that builds and delivers beds to children 3 to 17 years old. Their motto is "No kid sleeps on the floor in our town." Our Youngstown chapter almost always has a wait list for families in need. Beds built are delivered directly to children in our area. To sponsor a bed, the total cost is $250. Please contact Councilwoman Megan Pingley at, everybody has her phone number, I won't read it out loud, or Brandy Eisenberg at her phone number, and donate or get involved. Garden Club Harvest Show. The Mahoning River Garden Club announced their first annual Harvest Show on September 16th at 5 p.m. at Monty Park Hall. If you have produce, bulbs, divides, or anything else to share or trade, bring it. During the festivities, they invite you to showcase your best produce and flowers in various categories. Compete with other participants for a chance to win exciting prizes. For category information and to submit a harvest, please get in touch with Leah Forney or call or text to complete the registration process. Entries into the fair and highly encouraged but not necessary. Struthers fifth quarter. Fifth quarter of Struthers Parkside Church continues after the home football games from 9 to 10:30. This is for Struthers Middle School students only. The sponsors are Struthers Teachers Union, Struthers Gridiron, Struthers Firefighters Association, Struthers FOP Lodge 41, Struthers AmVets, Struthers Rotary, Mayor Cat Miller, and a donation made in the memory of Paula Grandy. Ride for Rowan, the annual Ride for Rome will be held on Saturday, September 28th at Eastside Civics. Sign-ups start at 10 and stands are up at noon. All the proceeds will go to Rowan Sweeney Memorial Foundation towards an all-inclusive memorial playground. It is $20 per bike and $10 for non-riders. There will also be a $5 breakfast, basket raffle, and a 50-50. Dinner will be provided at the end of the run with a live band music upon return. The run t-shirts and Rowan bracelets will be available for sale. This run is hosted by Unity in the Community and Rowan Sweeney Memorial Foundation. Yellow Creek Pickleball. The repainting of the lines on the 2 pickleball courts at Yellow Creek Park is now complete and the courts are open for use. Lightner's Fresh and Smoked Meat. Lightner's has officially reopened. They are now located at 1026 5th Street, right next to Ernie's Barber Shop. And that concludes the mayor's report for September 11th.
Any questions or comments on the mayor's report? If none, we are going to go into standing committees.
Finance and Legislation Committee meeting to be held September 18th at 6 o'clock.
Any other committees? If none, we got 3 pieces of legislation. Number 3 is a resolution, and I believe number 2 is going to be going into 3 readings. Okay, there's no emergency clause on it. Questions, comments on legislation?
What is the reason being for number 2?
It's not necessary to do emergency.
So if you have a generator, you're not allowed to use it whatsoever anymore then?
No, I didn't say that. Read the ordinance.
For emergency purposes only, like
Right.
during outages.
Right.
Some people are using it to supply electric to the whole house.
Can't, it states in there,
daily
Rick, it
basis.
can't be your sole use
Oh.
of electricity.
Okay, I was trying to read through that. I got you.
You still have to have electrical service at your house. You can't-
I understand.
That's for like
And if you do have electrical
revamping
service-
your electric service, power outage.
You can use
You
it
That's
can
when
run
you
it,
use
yeah.
a generator. It's not to run your house all
day
year
to day.
on
round.
a day-to-day basis.
Understand.
Any other questions, comments on our legislation tonight? Unfinished business? New business? Law Director John?
Nope, I have nothing.
Yeah. Questions or comments for our Law Director? Our auditor's absent. Bob, do you have anything on your behalf?
I am going to give you probably the only safety service report for this year. Over the course of the summer, our code enforcement officer had knocked on hundreds of doors, educated our residents on various property code violations. We are unable to make contact. A door knocker was left at the residence with contact information and stating the violation. Over 160 of these were issued at a very high success rate. When this method does not work, letters were sent. The highest offense is grass cutting, of which the city ended up cutting 61 properties, resulting in $29,300 being assessed a property tax. The code enforcement officer also oversees 809 rental properties in the city, tracking landlord registration and performing rental inspections every time a tenant changes, bringing in over $40,000 in fees. He also shares this information with our tax department to help ensure that the tenants are paying taxes. The street department was tasked with cutting the 61 properties given from the code enforcement officer, along with the 80 city-owned properties. Along with the grass cutting, the street department has also spread over 50 tons of asphalt patching our streets this year. Fire department has a new ambulance to back up its current ambulance. We have 2 firemen who are currently close to finishing their paramedic class, so that will help us out. Our ambulance just went down, also needed brakes. That's why we bought a backup ambulance, so when this one goes down, we will at least have a backup. All right. The med account information for our ambulance runs, we've ran advanced life support. There was 158 cases. This is in the past year. Advanced life support 2, they had 6. Basic life support, 302 runs. We had transported 462 patients.
You're kidding me.
No.
Wow.
Wow.
With that, we were able to charge a total, this is for the whole year, $477,944. We brought in revenues, we brought in $137,712. And then there were adjustments of $236,475, and we had to write off $51,000 in billings. So we brought in $137,000. I don't have the figures on what it cost, but I will tell you that $137,000 wouldn't pay for 2 employees, okay, with wages and benefits. So just keep that in mind as we're supplementing this ambulance service, which I feel we need to do and we should continue to do. Police department. Our police department has taken in over, this is for a monthly report, the month of August. For the month of August, they have taken in over 501 calls, and they've made 200 traffic stops, issuing 53 citations. So for the year, they average end of year, so far they've made 1,916 traffic stops.
Wow.
So they're very active recently, or actually all year long, on making these traffic stops. Citations, there was 676 citations. Myself and the chief both agree the stop is more important than the citation. We don't necessarily want a ticket, we just want to make people aware to slow down. And at times, citations are required if it's excessive. But for a simple rolling through a stop sign, the stop is sometimes sufficient, but we leave that up to our officers. They know the judgment call that they do a fine job with. And I just want to remind everybody that our senior van is transporting an average of 5 persons every time it goes out, 3 days a week, and it's getting old. Our senior van is getting close, probably within 5 years of replacement. Okay, and that's also a service. It doesn't serve a lot of people, but the people that do use it really need that service. And that will be my safety service report for September 11th. Just for your information, that's what our door knockers look like. So he writes the name, address, and date, and a violation, and he leaves it on the door, and he passed out 160 of these, along with when he couldn't talk to the person. He always knocks on the door, the person answers, he talks to them. When they don't answer, he leaves this. If he doesn't get a response from this, then the letters go out. Okay?
I think the door knocker's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's working.
Yeah.
Out of hundreds of
No.
contacts, we wound up cutting like 26 properties one time.
No, I think
Some of the properties we cut we've been cutting them for 10, 15 years. But actual grass cuttings that have been cut one time or 2 times because the resident didn't want to cut grass, there's like 25. Somewhere between 25 and 30.
No, that's a good idea.
Not a lot.
I'm not saying it's going to solve all our problems, but
It does.
it's a good
It's-
idea.
it's-
It is.
It speeds up the process.
Yeah. And plus, if nobody's home, he doesn't have to go right back. He
Yeah.
lets them know that he was there and what their violation is.
I will tell you though, he sometimes does go back after hours just to make sure he can contact certain violations. I won't say all violations, but certain violations that he feels are important, he will go back after hours and get in contact with the property owner.
Good.
Any other questions?
So instead of iWorks, did you get a new program?
We do have a new program and we're having trouble getting it up and running.
Okay.
Billy's tracking a lot of it just on Excel files. He still has all the information he needs when landlord registrations come through, when he still tracks it, but he's tracking it on basically his own program that he put together with Excel files.
Okay.
Okay.
One more question, we, another council member, were approached last night.
Yes, yeah.
Couple houses on Perry Street that's been condemned for a while.
We're still waiting to hear from the county. The county is still waiting to hear from the state. So there's 2 houses on our demo list that we've turned over to the county for demolition. And we just called the county not long ago. They're waiting for the second round of money from the state to be released. And that's not just the city of Struthers, that's for all the demos in the county.
Yeah, he said it's pretty nasty over there
Yeah.
next to the whatnot and at the house.
Yeah.
Might be rats coming around, whatnot, so it could be taken care of for maybe.
Well, the rats are the different issue, because usually if a house is condemned, there's nobody living there, there's nothing for rats to eat.
Well,
So we still address rats, even if the house is condemned, we will still send the health department out there
sure.
to inspect for rats.
How about the grass, everything else around there? Pretty-
Our street department it's probably on our street department list, and
Okay.
they cut it. They're,
If it hasn't been, if we could just maybe try to take care of that.
When they cut it, do they come across rats?
no,
No?
you're not gonna.
They're in the ground.
I'll be honest, at all the properties, you don't see rats. You see field mice that you're gonna see anywhere.
Holes in the
You
ground,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Are there
But
rats in the city? Yes, there's
Oh,
rats
yeah.
in the city. There will always be rats in the city. There's been rats throughout mankind for an eternity, and
Yeah.
you're never gonna get rid of them.
Okay, just somewhere to bring that up, thank you.
All right.
We can take care of that.
This letter that we got from Kevin Walsh,
Yes.
you know, about financing, how are we looking at that?
So we sent a letter to Mr. Walsh requesting proof of financing
Right.
for his building at 118 South Bridge Street.
I mean, I don't look at this as proof of financing.
It's not. It's proof that Bridgeway Capital would be interested in possibly supplying a loan.
Right,
That's all it says.
Okay.
They got a letter of interest from Bridgeway Capital. It's not proof of financing
okay.
that we asked for.
So what's the plan from here?
What is the plan from here? We're going to discuss this tomorrow with our law director and make sure that we legally take all the steps necessary. Probably, and I'm not 100% sure, but more than likely, we're gonna condemn the building.
This is the open building.
Yes,
Okay.
The Eagles.
Well,
yes.
the main open building.
The first open building.
Is that the one that they haven't money invested supposedly in engineering already?
Yes. There's several factors that he keeps telling us, but that's why we asked for proof of financing, which he has not. That's the same building he's requested more property from the city of Struthers.
Right.
You two,
And that was what led us to say, give us proof of financing before we determine whether we're gonna give you property or not. And we have not received the proof of financing.
you guys have your meeting and then we'll revisit that next week.
Okay.
Bob, I got a question on that. You send him a letter, ask them to remove that stuff from the alleyway.
Yes, and he has removed, Mr. Walsh has removed his stuff. What's left is the trailer,
Right, I seen that,
Which-
with the steps.
which is somebody else's. And we've been in contact with her, and she's planning on having an auction and having it out by the end of the month.
End of September.
Yes.
So, I think it was end of July, is the date.
We
So
gave him a
keeps
date.
getting
And,
pushed.
and she had it set up with an auctioneer, and then the auctioneer backed out on her, so she had to contact another auctioneer. But that is separate from the building, but it is still something we're working on, getting that trailer out of there.
Okay, thank you.
How about the house, the garage on Center Street? I see, it's like half the sides and the back is still up. Is he gonna take the rest of that down?
Slowly, but I think he's still working on it. It's a process for him.
What you talking about by John Street?
Yeah.
I did
He
notice.
seems to be taking it down, one or
I
two
just
boards
noticed
at
But
a
now
time.
he's throwing stuff inside there.
Is he?
I see a bunch of tree limbs
I'll
and
have
stuff
the-
inside the
I'll
garage
have our code
now.
enforcement officer give him another visit.
Yeah. Cause
I
it's just
just-
a matter of time before the guy across the streets,
Okay.
you know. And
we will revisit that situation.
he sees it every day when he sits on his porch, so he's got a legitimate complaint.
Yes,
You know, I think he's had long enough. He's had the whole summer.
okay. He has.
Even if you do it
You're
yourself,
absolutely-
you could take it
You're
down.
absolutely correct, we have given him
The
more than
whole
ample
summer,
time.
yeah. I mean, if we did it by rules, he would have been fined $100 a week, wouldn't he have? Yeah, I think it is.
It could be, actually be more than that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, he
Yeah.
could have accumulated
Yeah.
a lot of money
You're correct.
that we saved him by, and he's kind of dilly-dallying around and getting it
That we
down.
will readdress that.
All right.
Any other questions for our safety director? Thanks for the report, Bob. No other questions? Need a motion to adjourn caucus.
Make a motion.
Second,
Second.
caucus is adjourned.